What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Weekly Wizard Podcast. I'm Brett here with my co-host Warren, and we are here to talk geek. Today we are going to be talking about two things, specifically the new Hulk comic by Donny Cates and Ryan Ottley, wow, and the first two episodes of Hawkeye, and maybe even dabble on a little Black Friday action. Our backdrop is a little different, so this weekend was Black Friday. So how'd that go?
Absolutely crazy.
As it is every year.
One of the biggest Black Fridays the store's ever had. Like, it was way up there. We opened the door, for people that know the store, we got Mango Cannabis right around the kind of corner in our shopping center here. Our line went around Mango Cannabis. Like, around. It was crazy. I didn't start the recording on this, so okay, we won't have audio again this week. Sorry, guys. We started letting people in about 10 minutes earlier than we normally do. So the way it normally works is at 9. We open at 10. 9:50 we let the first person in. We have a number. They're number one. They come in. They can grab $5. They have 1 minute to grab $5, and then they can go to the end of the line. And then we let the second person in. They have 1 minute to grab books, and then they're to the end of the line. This we did it. Yeah. So this year we did it 10 minutes earlier, so we could have 20 people in before. Because the first 5 people were a family, so we just let all 5 of them on at one time. They had 5 minutes to choose their $25 or whatever. It was crazy. So we had over 50 books up there that were over $100. We were like an hour and a half in, and I remember pulling a $90 book off the wall, and I was like, "Wow, how is this still here?" There was so much good stuff. The biggest book we had on the wall was Journey into Mystery 116, which is the first appearance of Absorbing Man. And that was a $250 book.
What about the first appearance of X-23? I thought you guys had that.
We did. We sold it about a week before.
Wow.
It was less than a week before. We sold it on Monday. Some guy came in. We had $400 on it. He offered me $3, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll take it."
Better than $5.
Yeah, it's better than $5. So, but honestly, though, had somebody come in and offered me $200 for it, I wouldn't have taken it.
Right.
Only because of how big of a draw it is. Half was not worth it to
people
me.
In, yeah.
Yeah. So it's all about what's going to draw people in. Because I had people come in and make offers on a lot of those big books. And I'm like, I'm just not willing to take half on these. Like, you offer me maybe 75%, yeah, maybe. Yeah. But when it's a book that's going to draw people in and create that line, create that hype, I just can't do it.
We literally talked about that the day before Thanksgiving.
They
had Immortal Hulk. You're like, dude, that's going to draw people in. I was like, all right.
And it was one of the ones I showed in my show. Because I do a show on Tuesday nights showing the new comics. And so that was just one I really wasn't willing, because Immortal Hulk is one of the best series of Hulk ever.
Until it's a great segue.
Yeah.
Our first topic of the day.
Sorry, I'm a little lost my voice during Black Friday, so that's why I sound a little wonky. End of Black Friday, my voice was gone. But
we've all been there.
Yeah.
But anyways, Hulk number one.
Hulk number one.
And, Donny Cates is a genius.
Yeah.
And Ryan Ottley is gold.
So I want to kind of start off with Immortal Hulk. You have not read Immortal Hulk?
Not yet.
Right? Okay.
Nope. I'm waiting for that to come out in one big
a big omnibus.
I'm really excited about
and
that.
I'm sure it will soon.
I've heard nothing but good things about it, though.
I've read all 50 issues, and it was amazing. So it was written by Al Ewing. So Al Ewing and Donny Cates swapped books, basically. Al Ewing ended Hulk, and he went to Venom. Donny Cates ended Venom, went to Hulk. So
awesome trade-off.
And I'm excited to see what both of them do. The first issue of Venom was also amazing. I love Al Ewing, so it's definitely worth reading. It's a big twist at the end, and I loved it.
Who doesn't love that? Yeah.
Al Ewing's run of Immortal Hulk was so different than any Hulk series ever, because all the other Hulk series were, Hulk smash, and then Dr. Banner, oh no, did Hulk actually smash, and blah blah blah, and then he's a superhero, and then all this. That was not Immortal Hulk. Immortal Hulk was a horror book.
I'll say it was dark.
It was
very
dark.
Yep.
And it also touched on a lot of issues. It was the first major transgender character in a comic book. One of the scientists that was helping the Hulk out.
Okay.
There was, it dealt with, heaven and hell, what happens after death, the one above all, the one below all. It touched on a lot of, taboo subjects and stuff. Yeah, very heavy stuff.
Right. Okay, cool.
And that's what I absolutely loved about it. But Hulk was still the monster. Bruce Banner was still the guy, inside that was trying to keep the Hulk, at bay.
Yeah.
That is not what this book is about.
Ooh, no, it is not. No.
This book, basically the premise of this book is, what if Bruce Banner's the monster?
Flip it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the great part about comics is that we can relate to, the things that we're reading. And I'm telling you right now, man, if I have ever related to a book,
yeah,
I mean, wow.
Yeah.
I honestly, I want to take a second and just give so much prop and respect to Donny Cates, because what he does to everything he touches, what he's doing right now in comics is something all of us fans have always wanted him to do. Not only is he a fan who's writing comic books, but he's writing things that are getting people into comics.
Yes.
Like, if you aren't reading comics right now and you're like, oh, they're not my thing, whatever, I dare you to come to Wizards Asylum, shameless plug, pick up a copy of Hulk #1, read that book, and tell me you don't want to keep reading it. Because there's no way. There's no way.
And it's not just Hulk, too. I mean, he's writing Thor right now. You read Thor.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, and I'll tell you right now, like, Hulk, I read like the first 11 issues, I think. And then, honestly, I haven't read one since. So, there's like another 8 issues after, or maybe 9 issues.
Of Thor?
4. Yeah, they're on like 20 or
they're
something.
19. 19
okay, yeah.
just
So, there's like another 8 issues that I haven't read. But I'm telling you right now, like, I will be actually reading this.
Yes.
Every time it comes. Like, because this is just, the fact that there's so much going on. Like, what happened in El Paso, Texas?
Yeah, I would love to know what happened in El Paso.
Obviously he just, he did what the Hulk does. Like, he just raged out and just destroyed a bunch of stuff. But like,
Hulk smashed,
why?
Man.
And then I love how it starts off all ominous, and then like out of nowhere you turn the page and Spider-Man's like, hold up, is anybody else really confused here? Like, I love that little transitional he did there. Like, that was great. And the way Sorcerer Supreme, Doctor Strange explains it, I'm so curious as to how and why Bruce Banner has done to himself what he's done. Because for those of you who haven't read, spoilers, so
tell me that is not an amazing splash page.
Just wrecking shop.
Yeah.
So Bruce Banner has apparently split his mind into parts.
Yep.
And what he has done is he has taken the body of the Hulk and turned it into what Doctor Strange calls it, a starship.
Starship Hulk.
And I love the title of the issue, Smashtronaut.
Yeah.
That was clutch. But he's taken the body of the Hulk and he's turned it into something that he now commands. And he's kind of like mentally inside of the Hulk at the helm of this,
cool splash page. Ryan Otley's art.
He's amazing. And he's controlling the Hulk, and he has the psyche version of the Hulk trapped in this room that keeps the Hulk angry. Because if you know the Hulk, his rage is what fuels him to be strong and invincible. So he has the Hulk trapped in this room in his psyche that the Hulk is attempting to escape. And what kills me about that is that door that he's punching on is clearly not indestructible.
Yeah.
Because there are giant fist marks all over it. So eventually,
God help
that's going to be a problem. And I'm just so excited. But so I'm just so curious as to what happened in El Paso, Texas to really push Banner over the edge. And how did he, because at this point, we don't know what Bruce Banner's motives are or what his plan is, because he's gone full villain. At the end of the issue where he's bleeding out of all... So he takes the Hulk and he fights Tony Stark and he walks through this interdimensional portal and Tony's like, you don't know where it's going to take you. And he's like, whatever. And he like sends out this message and then walks through it. It's like tearing him apart and he's like smiling as he's got blood.
Blood
just
coming
looking...
out of his eyes and his nose.
Honestly, that was a real Cletus Cassidy moment for me right there.
Yeah.
That was like you have just lost it type moment. But we have no idea how we got to this point, why, and what it is that he's trying to accomplish. But I have never been so excited to find out what the Hulk is up. No pun intended.
No pun intended.
But wow. And Ryan Otley's art, the way that wow.
So, for those that don't know, Ryan Otley is famous for Invincible.
Amazing.
So if you've seen the Invincible, the animated series, that was very close to his art
and
style.
If you haven't, watch it.
It's very good. It's a very good
Very
series.
adult.
Definitely watch it.
Yes.
It's funny because my wife and I were watching it, and I was telling her beforehand, this isn't really for kids. It's very adult. Blah blah blah. When we finished the first episode, and the credits start to roll, and she's like, "That was fine. Like, there was maybe a little cussing, and it was fine." And then the after credit scene happens in that first episode.
I was gonna say, yeah.
And then we were both like, "Whoa, okay, yeah, this is definitely not for kids."
It gets in the like if you've read the book, you've read the books, right?
I've not. I've never read Invincible. I know I need to grab the compendiums.
I've read all of them. I've read all of it, the whole story,
Yeah.
and I'm telling you right now, it only gets.
You bought the
worse.
compendiums, right?
All 3 of them.
Yeah. Okay.
And dude, it's serious. It only gets worse.
That's awesome.
Like if you watch the first season, or if you've read a couple issues, like, wow,
One of these days
just
I'm gonna get to it.
just gets more and more extreme. Like, so I'm very excited to see where that goes. But with the Hulk's rage and violence, the way that Ryan Otley portrayed that, I mean, I loved it. I loved how the way he was fighting Tony. He's got Hulk trapped, and like he has this throttle in his chair that he cranks it up, and in the room that the Hulk is trapped in, the higher it's cranked, the more stuff is just trying to enrage the Hulk. And I think level 1 was like infinite armies.
Yeah.
And like something hits him and he turns around and there's just choppers and tanks everywhere, and he's just like, let's go. Like, and then you see him smashing through these tanks as Bruce is controlling the Hulk to fight Tony.
Yep.
And at one point, Bruce makes the Hulk rip his own arm. He gets trapped by was it adamantium or something?
Yeah,
and he's forced to rip his own arm off just to keep pushing forward.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I mean, that was so, and I love how he took the Hulkbuster hand and put it on his and then blasted Tony with it.
So good.
Amazing. Like, that was beautiful.
Yep.
That was something right out of a movie. And if that's just level 1, cannot wait to see the other.
What does level 10 look like?
Oh, can't wait. But I'm really excited to see, again, that door is not indestructible.
Yeah. What happens when that door breaks?
And eventually he's gonna
God forbid.
But honestly, I'm more concerned that he doesn't get out in time for whatever Bruce has going on, because again, I don't know where he's going through that port, because I don't know what that port, like he said, it was from the Null event. I haven't read that yet. The King in Black.
You haven't read King in Black?
No, the collected edition of that comes out next year.
Yes.
But up till now, I have no idea what that even means. So this whole portal thing, I think they were using it to transport civilians out of right. And he's like, "Oh, we have no idea where it goes," and he's just like, "Cool," like, and he just walks through it like. So
the King in Black event, they were talking about when Tony piloted a Celestial.
Is it that Celestial? Is that it?
I think this is what they built from that Celestial.
Okay.
But the portal is from that Celestial, yes.
And I mean, there's so much going on in this first issue.
Yeah.
And I mean, wow.
There was definitely a lot going on. This is probably one of the worst covers. There were some really cool covers, but I've sold out of most of them already.
I had to get that blank cover.
The blank cover was cool. I would like to see... if Ryan Otley does any kind of signing or something like that.
Oh, I'm getting in on that.
Yeah, for sure.
I actually was literally just on the CGC earlier looking to see if one of his was the events, because I have to.
Yeah, that would be super cool.
So good.
And the main cover was also incredible. I love the main cover.
Oh yeah, how he's like smashing it. It's like a giant. And Bruce Banner's just kind of like, oh yeah, no, it's that. I mean, yeah. Again, anything that Donny Cates touches so far. And I heard somebody talking about he has like a formula, because apparently in like the 3rd issue of this or something, there's going to be a big reveal for the bad guy. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then someone was like, isn't that just what he does? Like Donny Cates will wait a couple issues in and he'll drop the big bad guy. And
that's what he did with Venom. I mean,
he did that with Venom. Didn't he do that with Thor too? Like he came in like a couple issues and he was like, oh, Black Winter or something like that.
Yeah, five was the
and
then three of Venom was the King in Black.
Yeah, there's Null. Yeah, which I finally picked up.
Oh, yeah, one.
Oh,
yeah, I did not have one.
Yeah, it's beautiful. But yeah, they were calling him a one-trick pony because he'll wait a couple issues, drop the big bad guy, and then the rest of the story is them building up to that. And I was like,
what if the big bad guy in this one is Bruce Banner?
I feel if that's not the case, I mean, I don't know how it gets crazier than that. Like,
Right?
Like,
Right.
I mean, seriously, like he's controlling the Hulk, and he's clearly lost his marbles.
Yes.
Who do you?
Yeah.
Because now, if you introduce a bad guy, Bruce Banner has to become the good guy, and I think we're past that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
no,
know. Again, I don't know what happened in El Paso, but I'm telling you right now.
I want to find out more about El Paso. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm also curious to find out how he did what he did, because like Doctor Strange said, he's like, I'm the greatest sorcerer, and I don't know how he did this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what does that even mean? Like, that's so.
They're like, did he use magic? Did he use science? Like, how did he do this?
All of it. And I'm like, what? Like, and I'm like Spider-Man. I'm like, I'm really confused here. I don't know what's going on. But it was so cool, and I cannot wait. What is the next issue on December 15th? Is that what I read?
I think that sounds right. Yeah.
Oh man, I don't want to wait that long.
Got a little bit of time.
I mean, yeah, crazy good, dude. I'm gonna pick it up every time, and I'm gonna read it on the spot. Like, and I'm telling you, Ryan Otley does a sketching or something. Oh yeah, gonna have to get in on that, because yeah, it was awesome. But yeah, that's my final thoughts on that. If you're not reading it and you're not a comic book person, now's the time. Hulk #1, Donny Cates, Ryan Otley, pick it up. Wow, so good.
Yeah, it looks like #2 is December the 15th. Yep.
Man, that sucks.
Yeah, #3 they already have. #3 January 19th, and #4 is February the 16th. So yeah, I mean, it's monthly.
Oh, it's so terrible. I hate when something's so good and you have to wait. But hey, but something we don't have to wait so long for, Hawkeye. Great transition. Yeah. No. First 2 episodes have already dropped, and there are only 6 total.
6, yes.
Coming at us.
6. So I loved it. There was only one part that I was like, oh, that's stupid. But the rest of it, I really enjoyed.
Can
you guess what scene?
I can't.
The LARPing scene was just too on the nose.
That was hilarious, dude.
I did not like it.
That was freaking great. Oh man, no, I thought that was funny. Because he's
felt like
just
it was
so over it, like
making fun of the LARPing scene, and I work in a game store. I don't LARP myself.
Well, and I just love that, like. He wasn't dogging it, but he was just so ready for this to be over that he's just like, yeah, just give me the armor, let's go.
That was the one scene I just kind of rolled my eyes.
And Jeremy Renner just
now Jeremy Renner being like angry Hawkeye was pretty great through the whole thing. Like, man, he was just done with everything. And
I think it really showed him as a character now post Endgame, especially with the whole that show that him and his kids went to, where like the musical
Rogers,
or whatever,
musical.
where he's just like, you could see. I mean, he's having.
He
flashbacks.
turns off his.
He turns off his because he's like, I can't. Like, if I have to keep hearing it, I'm gonna like.
I mean, he just lost his best friend.
Right. Not only that, but like
he's still dealing with that.
He was there, like, for all of it.
And it was funny
in it.
As we're watching it, I look at my wife and I was like, "This guy traveled to another planet."
Yeah. Yep. And now he's sitting here watching this musical about how they saved the world.
And Ant-Man's there too.
He's like, he wasn't there.
He wasn't even there.
He even commented on that. Yeah, no, man. And I mean, and when he gets up and leaves the theater, and he's kind of like, oh, like, I'm okay. Like, he's like kind of like trying to shake that off. I'm like, I can't imagine what that. You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing to do it and then like try to like just, okay, bury it, it's gone. But then have a show about it in your face, and you just have to sit there and like, this is all BS. This is not okay.
And everybody in the world knows who he is, and like he's never hid behind a mask or anything like that.
And he's like, he doesn't want to be an Avenger anymore.
He does not,
you know what I mean? Like
the
guy comes up, he's like, oh hey, your dinner, your entire family's dinner is on us, and he's like, you don't have to do that. Yeah. And he's like, you saved the city. We're gonna do that. And he's like, thank you, thanks. Yeah. Like but at the end of the day, you can see he's like, I just want no one to bring this up ever again. Like he's just, I'm done. Like I can't. Like it's touching. It hurts. You know what I mean? Because you feel so. Because you're like, because at the same time, we're all that guy in the restaurant. We're like, dude, you're Hawkeye. You did it. You saved everyone. Everything's awesome. But at the same time, it's like, okay.
Or like the guy in the bathroom.
That was messed
Can I get a selfie?
that
Man, now's not an appropriate time.
they're literally standing at the urinal, and he's like, I mean, like who? And the fact that he just stood behind him as he's washing his hands, like he should have turned around and punched that guy in the face. And speaking of the bathroom scene, that was a little messed up too, and not just the dude with the selfie, like the little message written on the urinal.
Oh yeah, Thanos
was right.
Yeah.
Like, talk about just twisting the knife.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
he lost his best friend to save half of every creature in the entire universe.
Creation.
Yes.
And then someone is like, the dude you were fighting against, now he had it right.
Yeah.
Like, talk about ungrateful. Yeah. Like, and I mean, and that's something that I think, from the beginning of Infinity War, that has been the debate between everyone. Like, is he right or is he wrong? And there's no, there's.
I mean, all the Avengers were kind of on one side of that. He was definitely wrong.
Right? Yeah. But at the end of the day, there's always been that internal struggle with everyone. Like, we get where he's coming from, but what you're doing is wrong. And I think we were all on the Avengers side. Yeah. Like, you can't just off half the people.
The movies at least gave him a motivation for doing what he did.
Right.
If anybody's ever read Infinity Gauntlet,
very different.
Yeah, the only reason he's doing it is because he is in love with the personification of death.
And he's trying to impress her.
He's trying to impress death.
Yep.
By killing half of everything.
And she doesn't care.
She does not care. No.
At all. That's the funniest part of all that. Yeah. But I like the way that they turned that, because I feel like it would have been weird if it was because of death in the movies. It would have made sense. It would have been a little too mystical.
They actually but
they gave him a purpose that we could all, you know what I mean? You could struggle with. You're like, okay,
his planet suffered because of overpopulation.
Right. And that's what drives him to realize, hey, like, everyone will come to this at some point. So, but I also don't really get what he's talking about. Like, dude, if you off half the people, you could 7,000 years from now, you'll be right back to that same place. And what kills me is that he did his deed. He offed half the population, and then he destroyed the stones.
Yeah.
Like, you don't expect to run into that problem again at some, like,
maybe not in his lifetime.
He
doesn't care about later.
See, and that's what kills me. It's like why that makes no sense. Like, if you cared that much.
But if he could snap and kill half of everything, couldn't he snap and create double of everything? Yeah.
Yeah, but then that still just furthers the problem. Like, if everything goes on.
Story too.
I just that was. But to see that written on the urinal and someone just almost. Like, what are the odds that he walks up to that one that says that, and it just rubs it in his face? Like, he's struggling, and I totally get it. Like, that's rough, man. But I love what they're doing with the story. I thought it was going to be a lot more Hawkeye with Kate Bishop and not so much Kate Bishop with Hawkeye. Yeah. But it seems to be a lot more Kate Bishop prominent. I saw something that was so funny. It was a meme. It said, watching Hawkeye for the plot, and then it was 4 pictures of the actress who plays Kate Bishop from like Instagram, all like she was like biting her lip, so I was like, that's hilarious, like, because it is very focused on
Haley Steinfeld,
Kate Bishop, which I was expecting it to be a little backwards, but I don't dislike it at all. I think it's great.
I love Haley Steinfeld. I've always loved Kate Bishop in the comics, and I feel like Haley Steinfeld has that kind of smart alecky,
she did
really kind of charm down, my favorite character in it so far, though, is Pizza Dog, because Pizza Dog is from the comics. I love Pizza Dog.
The dog is pretty great.
The dog was pretty awesome. The one-eyed Pizza Dog. But no, I mean, I feel like Haley Steinfeld has the character down. I mean, she's so good. I really don't know much about her. I know she was Spider-Gwen in the Into the Spider-Verse movie. She was the voice of Spider-Gwen.
I didn't know that. Okay, cool.
But she was famous for doing True Grit. She was the youngest person to ever get an Oscar nomination. She was nominated for True Grit. I think she was 10 or 11 years old at the time. And I've never seen this movie, and I need to go watch it.
Wow.
So, she definitely, everybody knew from there she had a promising career ahead of her.
Right.
She's also a musician. Not my cup of tea, but no. So I didn't know what to make of her going into it. But after seeing the first 2 episodes, I feel like she has the character down. Yeah. She is incredible. That first scene where we see her and she's, just trying to what is it? Ring the bell and that.
Yeah, shoot the
Bell
clock tower.
tower.
Yeah, that was cool.
And then ends up collapsing a hole. I don't know how the physics on that works, but she ended up collapsing a whole tower.
Yeah, no, I like what they're doing with the story. I like how there are just all these different elements. I didn't know that when they're doing the black market deal for the Ronin hood and the sword, I didn't know that the sword was retractable.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I don't remember seeing that.
He just like wipes it off and then like he just has this conversation with Black Widow.
Yeah.
Never saw him retract or untract it. And I was like, when he did that, I was like, okay, that's a really cool sword, and I would totally bid on that thing, man. Like, that thing is awesome.
So the guy that is dating Kate Bishop's mom, so he's actually a villain from the comic books.
Okay, see,
he is the swordsman.
I'm betting on the mom right now.
Really? Okay.
The mom is on some shisty, shady stuff. I don't know what, but she's on something. And if she's not already a villain in the comic books, I bet they make her a villain in this movie or this show.
Well, I mean, I believe. I don't really know Kate Bishop's origins. It's been I haven't really read that much. I've read the last couple series. There's a new series that just started this week that was really good. Where she's an investigator. She's a private investigator. She was in the West Coast Avengers. She was in the Young Avengers. But I really don't know much before that. But so Jacques Dequesne, I guess is his last name, something like that. He is the swordsman of the comic books, and he is apparently a master swordsman.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And so he is dating Kate Bishop's mom in the show, and
who is also a villain.
She probably is. I mean,
right now,
I believe in the comics her parents were villains, and
makes sense.
Yeah. And so she's like trying to show her mom that this guy's a bad guy, and she is a fencer. She knows how to fence, so she goads him into a fencing challenge, and he's letting her win. She's like, "You're letting me win. Quit letting me win." And then he takes off his mask. He's like, "Oh, you did so good." And then she goes to get him in the face, and he just parries and like knocks her sword away.
Out, yeah, real quick. Yeah. She's like, "See, I told you." And he's like, I may have.
I might be a little better than that.
Yeah, I was, being nice. I'm
being a little too humble.
Yeah, no, I like that. There's like this kind of this murder mystery now because like the swordsman's uncle,
his uncle
was found dead by Kate Bishop dressed as the Ronin. I love how all this is getting pinned on the Ronin. Because she stole the outfit and was like trying to escape and stuff. Like, and now all of a sudden everybody's like, "Oh, Ronin's back! Oh no!" Like there's a lot of stuff going on. I think it's really cool. I'm excited to see, what Jeremy Renner does when he finally has the suit back and everything is like, he has
the suit back now,
which is not how it ended in episode 2 because he got confronted by these tracksuit
mafia,
the tracksuit mafia.
Very on the nose,
Oh my gosh, that's too funny.
Do you know who that was at the very end? That the person that they kind of revealed at the very end, the woman.
Where they're like, "Hey, boss, like we got him." Or no, I have no idea who that. Okay. I didn't want to spoil. I didn't, you know what I mean. I'm trying not to look up too much, but I'm excited to see.
She's a fairly major character in the Marvel universe.
That.
Plus, Florence Pugh is supposed to be in it at some point. Did you watch Black Widow?
Yeah.
Yelena.
Oh,
Yelena's going to be in multiple episodes, so we haven't seen her yet.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's very exciting.
She did great.
Oh, she was the best part of.
Yeah.
She carried that movie.
I think that'll be a good replacement.
Yeah.
Because she's supposed to take the Black Widow.
Yeah, she's supposed to be the new Black Widow.
Yeah, I think that's going to be awesome.
Like the White Widow or whatever.
Yeah.
But, I'm excited to see what happens with that. Now that Nat's gone.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, she was the best part of Black Widow. I liked Black Widow okay. It wasn't, in the top of my Marvel movie list.
I don't think it was on the top of anybody's list, but it was still good.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But Florence Pugh was hands down the best part. She carried the entire movie.
I'm still sticking to my guns here. I think, just like the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer, I think there's something about this show that they haven't told us.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
That I think is gonna, why would you save this one for last?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because, when WandaVision came out, we were like, "Oh, wow." And then when it came sort of like, "Oh, wow." And then Loki came out, we were like, "Oh, wow." And now, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like if it wasn't that big of a deal, you would have put it at the beginning and just got it over with. You know,
put it here because of Christmas.
But you could have easily just not made it a Christmas show. You know, like I feel like something's gonna pop up in episode 3 or 4 that we're gonna be like,
I feel that the way they've been kind of doing it is like the first one was Scarlet, WandaVision, which kind of ties into the multiverse. Okay, then we had the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which is more street level Avengers. Then we had Loki, which definitely ties more into the multiverse. And then Hawkeye is more street level. Now, they've announced a couple more shows, and one of these shows is definitely coming out of this one. We'll talk about that at a later date.
Okay.
But I don't know. We'll see. I think there's going to be a big reveal, but I don't think it's going to tie into any of the multiverse stuff. I think it's going to tie more into the street level Avengers stuff.
Yeah.
I think they're
forming the Young Avengers finally.
Yeah. Well, there's that because we have most of them already.
Yeah, they've planted so many seeds. That would be.
I think
really
the only
cool
person we don't have is Hulkling.
If maybe Hawkeye was like, all right, you know what? I don't want to do this, but if I can teach you guys to do it, you'll go do it and leave me alone. Maybe he takes over coaching. I mean, wow.
It's funny because they were doing an interview and somebody asked Haley Steinfeld about Young Avengers, and she's like looks like a deer in headlines, and then turns to Kevin Feige, and he's like, so
wow. I love how ominous he is. It's so ridiculous. Yeah. But yeah, no, I thought the tones of the show were good.
Patriot, we got the Wanda's kids. We've got Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah, I must say Kate Bishop. We got
we don't have Hulkling yet.
Wasn't there?
There's been
another one at the funeral for Tony. Who's that kid?
Well, that was the kid from Iron Man 3. He wouldn't be.
Oh, that
was just that little kid from Iron Man 3. Because nobody knew who he was because he was like older and taller than we remember him from Iron Man 3. And it's like, oh, yeah, that was that kid.
Okay.
But Patriot was introduced in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
So like you said, all
Scarlet Witch's kids, Hulkling,
yeah. I mean, maybe it's Hulkling. No, they'll probably say that for sure.
Yeah, no, that's gonna. I think they're gonna save that for Secret Invasion.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my thoughts on that one.
Okay.
Because I mean, that's gonna be Kree Skrull.
We're all okay.
So, and he is part Kree. He's part Skrull.
That'd be sweet.
Right now in the comic books, he is the Emperor of the Kree Skrull Alliance. So he's
got a lot going on.
the Eighth. Yes.
Oh, great. Okay.
And his husband is Tommy, who is one of Scarlet Witch's children that we saw in
and it
WandaVision.
all comes full circle.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that'd be dope. All right. Yeah. No, that would be a good last little addition there. But, yeah. I mean, honestly, again, I'm thoroughly enjoying these first two episodes, and I think it was really cool because this is the only one that gave us the first 2 right off the bat.
Yep.
And I think the reason they did that was because it built up a little bit slower.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I think
they're trying to get it all in before Christmas. I'm so sorry, guys.
And I feel like the last 4 are really going to pack a punch.
I think so.
And I think the first 2 already did a great job. It was again
just setting everything up.
Yeah, there's a lot of a story going on. Like there's this whole little murder mystery, and it's like who's the bad guy? What's going on? Why are people doing what they're doing? And Kate Bishop is entertaining, and Clint is always a blast. Jeremy Renner's Clint Barton is always fun to watch. So and now he's just a little bit different, a little bit more brutish and kind of just like sick of everything, and it's
I kind of like angry Hawkeye,
Yeah, well, and I love the part where he gives her he punches in his phone number and gives her phone, and he's like, "You call me if there's an emergency, only, nothing else." And he goes to walk up. She's like, "Okay, cool, I'll call you in a little bit." And he goes, "Don't do that." As he's walking up, I was like, "Yes!" Like that was hilarious. Like that's great show though. I mean, this Hulkeye week has been amazing. Like the great book. Great new show. I can't wait.
And if anybody wants to get more into comic books, there is a Hawkeye Kate Bishop comic book.
Now's the time.
That came out this week. We have a few issues of it left on the shelf. We have a few Hulk left.
Gotta get that Hulk.
It is great. Both of them were awesome.
Yeah.
So that's what happened this week.
Those are my thoughts. Yeah, Hulk and Hawkeye, if you will.
I still have a lot of comics to get caught up on this week. It was nuts trying to get ready for Black Friday. I completely lost my voice. And
I'm glad you guys had a good Black Friday, though.
It was incredible.
You survived. Hey, it's all over.
It is over until next year. And that's the thing about working in retail. Literally every day that I work, I'm getting ready for the next Black Friday. So yeah, we're gonna sell a lot of stuff this week, this month, but at the end of the day, all of it leads up to that Black Friday sale. Like that's where we clear out all the stuff that hasn't sold over the year and a half. It's where we clear out our comic books so we can get ready for a new year. I did get a cool collection in today, so we'll be getting the wall put up.
Okay.
No, yeah.
Okay.
It's a bunch of Silver Age, so we'll be getting that put up this week when we get the wall moved back over here.
Awesome.
So I do have some cool stuff to put up there. It was fortuitous that it came in, 2 days after Black Friday.
Yeah.
Usually it's a little later than that. It's usually, a month or so after Black Friday before we really start getting the wall put back together. Because right now, you go look at the wall, there's nothing over $15 on it. Whereas, you saw it before.
I saw it before. It was a very pricey
multiple $100 books up there. And yeah.
Well, I think that covers it, right? Hey, here from us here at Wizards Asylum, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Hope you had a great one.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah. Don't forget to drop a comment. Let us know what you thought. Again, if you want to pick up any of these awesome books that we've talked about, Wizards Asylum, Tulsa, Oklahoma, come hit it up.
We're 71st and Mingo behind the Zeos.
Blam. Thank you for watching so much. Seriously, it means a lot to us. So we will see you in the next one.